Judaism with Soul 29, Hippyism, Socialism, and New-Ageism. All of these isms are part of the newness of the world that we seek. We look for new solutions, new answers, new utopias to save us from our humdrum, everyday, ordinary, old lives. The Jewish people did the same in Egypt. When we were in Egypt and Yosef died, Vayakam melech chadash al Mitzrayim, a new king was established over Egypt. That was the beginning of our exile, the beginning of our slavery. And the answer to this slavery, the end of the exile, happened also with newness. A new king began the exile, and something new also ended the exile. In Shmos, chapter 12, verse 2, Hashem says to the Jewish people, HaChodesh hazeh lechem Rosh Chodashim. There's a new month, a new way of counting time. That's going to redeem you as you leave Egypt and begin a new pathway in life, a new pathway of counting time, of marking time. Newness began the exile, and newness ended the exile. It all depends on what kind of newness you're seeking. The Medrash in Shmos Rabbah, chapter 1:8, quotes the pasuk in Hosea, chapter 5, verse 7, which says the following: B'Hashem bagadu, ki banim zarim yaladu, ata yochlinu chodesh es chalkehem. They have dealt treacherously against Hashem, for they have begotten strange children. Now the new moon will devour them with their portions. Hosea 5:7. This teaches us that when Yosef died, the Jewish people wanted to remove their bris. They wanted to remove their circumcision. They wanted to retract the circumcision and replace it and become just like the Egyptians. They wanted to assimilate. Thus Hashem made the Egyptians change their love of the Jews to hatred. Quote, now the new moon will devour them with their portions, means this is the new king who promulgated new decrees against the Jewish people. So the new moon in the pasuk of Hosea is the new king who devoured them with their portions. You want something new? You want New-Ageism? You want assimilationism? You want to be like them? You want to be like the Egyptians? That devoured them, because that began the exile. That began the physical exile and the spiritual exile of the Jewish people. What is the source of this idea of newness, of seeking new answers, new utopias? Hippyism, New-Ageism, Socialism, Communism as the solution to all of our problems. The answer is we are under the purview, all those isms are under the purview of the Melech Zakin Uksil, the old and foolish king called the Yetzer Hara, the negative inclination. After Yosef died, they wanted to assimilate and become new people. They thought that the Egyptians would like them because they became more like the Egyptians by removing their bris. In fact, we see that in history that doesn't work. Trying to become more German than the Germans doesn't work. They become to resent us. Be yourself, be different, be chadash, be your own self, be your old self, which is really your new self. Renew yourself to be your old self. That is newness. That gains respect. Not being like somebody else, being somebody that you're not. This looking for something new is the tool of the Yetzer Hara. Seeking something new. That's why he's called the Melech Zakein V'Ksil. He's the old king who tries to make everything look like new. He deceives us. He pretends. He fools us and says, this food? Ah, this is new. Oh, this woman? This is new. Oh, this house? Gotta have this. Oh, this new contraption? Gotta have this. This is new. This is foolery. This is trickery. This is the Melech Zakin Uksil, who tells us that everything, this is new. This experience must be had. This is new. This will give you life. This new thing will give you life. This will connect you to the source. This will give you new chiyus. This will redeem you. Gotta have this. Stop your travels toward your destiny. Stop and have this. This is new. It's quite ironic because the Gemara tells us in Kedushin 30b, Yitzro shel Adam mischadesh alav b'chol yom. The Yetzer Hara renews itself upon us every day. Why? He renews itself over us every day because he tries to say that everything that I have is new. Everything I want to show you is new. When in fact, everything he wants to show us is old. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. This thing that he's showing us, this new thing, we've had it before. He just packages it in a new fashion and says, you gotta have this. Stop your life, gotta have this. Stop here. This is a trickery, an illusion, which tries to say that everything that is old is really new. We've had it all before. We've tasted it all before. But he packages it and tells us, try something new. Try hippyism, that will save you. New-Ageism, communism, socialism, fascism, something new. That's a new way of life. Idealism, romanticism, all these isms are the work of the Yetzer Hara to try to take us out of our tried and true, our connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The plain truth is that the Yetzer Hara is called the Melech Zakin Uksil. He's the king of the old because he portrays everything as new. Everything we see, everything he shows us is old. We know it. But he deceives us so that we think it's new and we have to try it. And we're deceived, and then we enter into our lives under the deception of this Melech Zakin Uksil. That's called spiritual exile. To be under the control, under the deceptive control of the Yetzer Hara, who says everything that we have must be renewed, and you'll have to have this old thing, and we call it new. This New-Ageism, this Hippyism, this Socialism, that's the work of exile. That's the work of the Vayakam Melech Chadash, a new king. The new king over Egypt was representing the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara was the new king over Egypt. He said, this, being like the Egyptians, this is new. Be like them, you'll be redeemed, you'll be saved, you'll be liked, you'll be loved by the Egyptians. Assimilate. Assimilation is a Melech Zakin Uksil. Be like them. Be like the Germans. Be like the host country. Give up your faith. That's New-Ageism. That's a new way of life, which you think is going to give you redemption. But it really is. It's old. Because all the things that he has to show us are old. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. All these old ideas recycled are not new at all. They're old, and he makes them look like they're new. That's the essence of Vayakam Melech Chadash over Mitzrayim. A new king over Egypt. A new king of philosophy, of New-ism, New-Ageism. That's the philosophy of the Yetzer Hara. What's the antidote? The antidote is, Hashem told us how to come out of exile. The exile is, HaChodesh Hazeh Lechem Rosh Chodashim. The way to come out of exile while you're still in Egypt, while you're still mired in this control of the Melech Zakin Uksil, this Yetzer Hara, is to take on a philosophy of HaChodesh Hazeh Lechem Rosh Chodashim. While they were still in Egypt, God gave us this commandment as a nation. The first commandment he gave as a nation to the Jewish people while still in Egypt was HaChodesh Hazeh Lechem Rosh Chodashim. This month for you is a new month. Why? Because this month was the renewal of the Jewish people while they were still under the control of Egypt. On your way out of Egypt, take the philosophy of Rosh Chodesh, God's system of counting, the renewal of each new month. Don't count by the sun. The sun is known as Yashan. It's called Shana. The sun is called Shana. It's governed by the year. So the 365 days of the year are governed by the sun. That's called Shana. Shana is the root word of Yashan, old. Mishneh, repeat. Yeshena, sleeping. Yashen, sleeping. Shana, based on the sun, that's old. That's Mishneh. That's Yashen, that's sleeping. Chadash, a month, counting our lives by the month that God gave us in Egypt to take with us out of Egypt on the way to Israel, on the way to the Promised Land, on the way to getting the Torah. That is Chidush. That is renewal. We're like the moon. We wax and we wane. We renew ourselves every single month. That Chidush comes from God. God is the Mechadesh, Betuvo, Bechol Yom Tamid Masa Breshis. He is the one who renews creation every single day, every single moment. The Rosh Chodesh idea, the concept of Rosh Chodesh, that we are called upon to declare the new moon, to have two witnesses count and see the new moon, come to the Beis Din and say, we saw the new moon, and the Beis Din declares Mekudash, a new moon, is the idea that we can renew ourselves. Chidush means to renew yourself by connecting to the one who renews the world, the one who created the world. The creator is the one who's mechadesh betuvo b'chol yom tamid. And a taste of that is every month we have a chodesh hazalechem. That renewal comes from the learning of God's mind, God's Torah. When we have a chidush in Torah, when you learn Torah and you have a new idea, a new insight, that's geschmack. That's renewal. That's newness. That's not melech zaken uksil. That's not the old stuff. That's not New-Ageism. That's real. When you have a chidush in Torah and you connect your thoughts, your mind to God's mind, and have a contribution to make to reality, that's real. That's hachodesh hazalechem. When you have a new idea of a new insight into how to improve your life, how to become a better Jew, a better husband, a better wife, a better son, a better daughter, a better neighbor, a better friend, to mechadesh yourself in your midos, that's new. That's renewal. That's renewal of self. That's teshuvah, which recreates the self. That's chidush. That's renewal. When you have a new opportunity to have a new idea in the world, to contribute to society, a new idea in chesed, a new concept. During the pandemic, many people came up with new ideas of how to help people who are shut in, teach Torah in a new way. That's a chidush. Connect yourself with chidush to the source of all life. That's chidush. That's chadash. Every time we come to a new yontif, a new Jewish festival, we say, Shehigianu, Higianu, Lazman Hazeh. Shechianu, Vikiyamanu, Vigianu, Lazman Hazeh. What is Ziman Hazeh? Ziman means time. We achieved, we arrived, and he established us. Laziman Hazeh. What is Zman? Zman means this time, a new time. The word Zman, says Rav Moshe, my Rebbe, Zman means Hazmana. Hazmana means we are invited to a new time. We're invited to connect with God and to renew ourselves with God. That's why we say Zman Simchasenu, the period, the time, the season of our joy, Sukkos. Zman Matan Torasenu, the time of our receiving of the Torah. That is Zman. We are Zimun, we are Mizuman. We are given a Hazmana, an invitation. That's what Zman is. Zman is an invitation to renew yourself. So every month, every yontif, every festival, we have an opportunity to be muzman, to be invited to Higianu Lazman Hazeh. We can say Shechianu, Vikimanu, Viganu Lazman Hazeh, to be renewed in this zman, in this new time, by renewing our connection to God, renewing our connection to the Jewish people, renewing our connection to our family, and ultimately renewing our connection to ourselves. To renew yourself, to become a better person, a growing person, a thinking person, a more expansive person. That's chidush. And we recreate ourselves in the image of God by becoming more godlike. That's chidush. That's Rosh Chodesh. That is the idea of renewing ourselves in a real way. That's the antidote to exile, to a spiritual exile. Even while we're in spiritual exile, we can renew ourselves every single month, internally, emotionally, spiritually. In that way, we can say Rosh Chodesh is a renewal for ourselves. And that is the opportunity to mechadesh ourselves, to have hischadshus, to renew ourselves in the service of Hashem.